The differentiation of tundra and taiga and boreal coniferous forest wolves, genetics, coat color, and association with migratory caribou, by Marco Musiani et al., presented by Emily Gard. The question of this investigation was whether or not wolf-prey associations in uninterrupted tundra and forested regions of Canada explain the differences in migratory behavior, genetics, and coat color of wolves. Marco and his team hypothesized that if ecological features can constrain gene flow, then gene flow will be restrained. The prediction to this hypothesis was that ecological features can constrain gene flow. Other background information and research objectives include the fact that they wanted to see the different habitats of the wolves directly influence their genetic makeup and therefore their phenotypes and behaviors. They also explored the effect that their food source had on their migration patterns. The study area for this investigation spanned over central subarctic areas and high-latitude forest regions in Canada. The method for this investigation was to put satellite tracking collars onto 19 wolves and 19 caribou in order to follow the pack in the herd and record their positions every 5 days. This spanned over 2 years. They also took blood and skin samples from the wolves and compared them to both their pelt color and to the region in which they lived. Marco and his team found that not only did the wolves in the tundra migrate to mimic the caribou, while the forest wolves stay in a set territory, but also that the genetic makeup of the wolves were rather different. He hypothesized that this explains both the color differences and likely the behavioral differences of the two wolves. As seen from the pie charts on the right, the two wolves have very different genetic makeups. These lead to different phenotypical traits. For example, this is a picture of a forest wolf. This wolf is of the typical pelt color for his area. On the contrary, there are also white wolves that can be found in the forest. They are simply more rare as their pelts do not match with the environment as much, therefore they are not as good of hunters. The different percentages in wolf pelt colors are shown on this chart. This is an example of a typical tundra wolf. Take note of the fact that its white coat helps it to blend into its environment. This allows it to catch more prey and therefore makes it more prolific. There are also wolves that defy the norm in the tundra, as evidenced by this black wolf surrounded by snow. Black wolves and wolves of dark pelts are not very common in snowy areas. This was also discovered by Marco and his team. They theorize that it is because their pelt does not help them blend into the snow, and therefore makes it very difficult for them to hunt. The results do support the predictions set out by the researchers that there is a genetic divide between the two species of wolves. It can also be reasonably inferred that this is due to the regions in which they live, and therefore the prey that they survive off of. Implications of this study are dire, as they serve to show that wolves are specially adapted to their chosen prey and environments. This makes them easily threatened by loss of habitat or food source. We have now reached the conclusion of my portion of the presentation. This has been Differentiation of Tundra and Taiga and Boreal Coniferous Forest Wolves, Their Genetics, Coat Color, and Association with Migratory Caribou, by Marco Musiani et al., presented by Emily Gard. Next up is going to be Curtis. He will be talking you through climate change and how the changes on our environment can truly impact some of our most delicate species, the birds.